Okay, hey everybody, this is day 4 of Vlog Every Day in September. I am Emily Marsh, your humble hostess slash commander-in-chief. And today we're going to be talking about women's secrets that men may not know. Some of the differences that might help communication and other things between men and women. Now some guys, you might be listening to this like, I so know. We're going to go to the next video. And that's okay. This isn't, for those of you who already know. But two main things I'm going to talk about today. The first one is about when we have a bad day. When women have a bad day, men, and we're talking to you about our bad days, like, oh my gosh, I cannot believe this happened. My boss totally, killed my project and whatever. Or, my girlfriend totally went out with this guy I liked, and I was like, psh, which, actually, never mind. Anyway, something like that. With guys, I've found a lot of times it's problem-solving oriented. So guys will be like, okay, what do I need to do in order to help her solve this problem? Like, what does she need to go through to get this checked off and, moving on? And that's not wrong. This is not at all opinion about guys and how they deal with problems. That's a very good way to clear off stuff off your, emotional desk, as it were. But girls we go through stages, kind of like you go through stages of grief. You need to go through this before you can go to this, before you can go to this. It's the same with anger and being frustrated and sad. Girls, a lot of times, we need to process. And what we really want from you guys when we're talking to you about our problems is, first, we need you to just listen. Just listen, quietly. Please don't interrupt us when we're talking. Even if we repeat ourselves, I know that's really annoying, repeating, but we really appreciate it when you don't, interrupt. And just kind of yeah, be encouraging. And when we're done, we just want you to validate us. It's true. We want someone to tell us we're not crazy, okay? We want someone to say, yeah, it sucks when you work your butt off at a 12-hour job and they give you, $1 when you get your check in the mail. That's crazy. We want to make sure, we're not going off the deep end or something. And we may have the solution to our problem. If there's an actual problem that needs to be solved, we may already know it, but we first need to process. Get it out, don't let it fester. And then, after that, we can move on to the next steps of possibly problem, solving and dealing with that. And in that case, we will also ask you if we want you to solve our problem. What do you think I should do, Or we might give you options do you think I should do this or do you think I should do that? And always the answers, please give us answers in love. Don't be like, well, you obviously should do this. Try to be understanding. Just because sometimes things are a bigger deal to us than it will be to you, and you may not understand it, but just go with it. So that's one thing that I found. Another thing is, okay, guys may or may not understand this. The whole fat question, don't tell a woman she's fat. It's true, by the way, don't do it. Unless she's, obese, can't even get through a doorway, and even then, please say it with, some decorum and love. Don't be just you're fat. No one wants to hear that. But the reason women, I'm going to explain, are so obsessed with being called fat is I like to think two things. One, we think that being fat means you can't be beautiful. And for women, it's really important that we seem beautiful to somebody. I think a lot of times we think we're beautiful, but then other people, depending on how they react to us, may not agree or may agree, and that just really affects our self-esteem. Also, the second part is the media. Movies and television, unfortunately, and just society, magazines, you see these beautiful teeny-weeny women 90% of the time, and so we feel that if we're fat, we're not living up to what we're supposed to be doing, and maybe our bodies don't, respond well to, some people's bodies are just more voluptuous than others. I'm not from a fit, skinny family. We're very voluptuous ladies, so, I'm never going to be toothpicky thin, which I personally don't want to be, but some girls do. So it's important that you understand that's why we're so hot-button issue about that fat comment. If you need to tell a woman she doesn't look as good, she really does want your opinion on something, don't say fat. Because in general, mostly we're not. We might be a little bigger than we were, but we're not fat. We'd be you could say, well, those pants don't quite fit as well as maybe this other more flattering pair of pants would fit, Be diplomatic, something like that. Okay, well, those are two things hopefully I have enlightened the male population on. And women, you can obviously comment below, say yeah, you're totally right, Emily, or you're so wrong, it's really this. Because I don't have as much experience as all the women on the world do, so I understand. Please subscribe. This is the end of day 4, Vlog Every Day in September. Up here somewhere, flight attendant, I don't know where they are, so just click on subscribe. And we'll see you tomorrow. Thank you so much for tuning in.